welcome to my store.
What do I need to put in it?
Well, you can use any kind of sand. You need something in there that is of aragonite, calcium carbonate type of a rock, okay? You can either have all your gravel be crushed coral, and then you can use regular rocks for the rest, or you can have everything crushed coral and use coral rocks, or you can have regular gravel or no gravel and use coral rocks.
What do the coral rocks do?
They keep the pH up. You see, they dissolve slowly into the water. As the fish use the calcium carbonate out of the water, they replace it by, well, disintegrating into the water.
Then it's better to have light rock in.
You have a more stable fish tank. If you have a fish tank, salt water, and you have no crushed coral in it, and you have no rocks, no seashells, nothing like that, and you overfeed, you will actually get a pH drop. Because when the food is decaying, it makes the water more acidic, and your pH will drop, and the fish will suffer because they like the high pH because it's what they evolved with.
Well, a lot of people who come here, they love the saltwater fish, but they say it is hard to have a saltwater tank. And
it's not harder, it's just more patience is required.
Do they have to do the same thing, like to set up with the water, have it age for a week?
No.
No, what do they have to do?
They have to let it age for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Oh.
See, salt water needs to be more stable because freshwater fish, they evolved with a lot of water changing chemistry. So during the rainy season, the water chemistry changes. During the dry season, if there's a flood, if there's fire, they'll change the water chemistry. So the fish have adapted to deal with change. In the ocean, the water really doesn't change much, and if it does, the fish can always swim away to a different area. When you have a hurricane or a heavy rain, the fresh water sits on top of the water. It doesn't really penetrate too far down, so it doesn't change the salinity, and the fish, they did not evolve to deal with change. So you want your tank to be very stable so that it doesn't change and shock the fish.
Okay, question. Do I put the water with the salt in it, and what kind of salt? Is it a cooking salt? Is it a marine salt? What? Because it's salt water.
Yes.
Okay, what kind of salt do the people need to use?
Well, you can't use cooking salt because cooking salt has sugar in it. Iodine, anti-caking agents, etc. So what you use is a saltwater mix. Here at the store we use Instant Ocean. It comes in a bag. This is a 50-gallon bag, and you just mix it with water, and then you can either tell how much salt.
How much salt do I need to put in it?
Well, basically we use specific gravity usually. Okay, you can buy a salt meter. They're $120, something like that.
Yeah, but let's say people don't want to go and spend $100
they use hydrometer.
for just to mix the water. That's what they come. What do I need? Okay, then can you show them, let's say, or can we show them, okay, this is a 20-gallon tank, and then in that amount of gallons, this is how much of salt you're going to use.
Well, if you read the back of the bag,
okay,
it will tell you 1.5 pounds of Instant Ocean is formulated to create 5 gallons of salt water at a specific gravity of 1.022.
Then it's like when you're cooking something that you have to be very specific in the measure. That way you know that when you put fish in it, you're not gonna overcook your fish with salt.
Well, you can either do it by measuring the volume of salt to the volume of water, or you can do it by using specific gravity where you have a hydrometer, and the hydrometer swingy arm will float at the level that it is. So if you put too much salt in,
it's easy to, it's a
they're $20.
They're $20, they're not that expensive.
Hydrometer's up here.
Okay,
there you go, a little swinging arm here. And as the water gets denser, the hydrometer goes up higher. So they give you a safe zone. Now, it's not important what the number is, it's important that it doesn't change. If your fish tank is 1.022 before the water change, it should be 1.022 after the water change.
Okay,
You don't
then
want-
after the 2 weeks, I follow the instructions. I put my water age, do I put the live rock in it right away and everything to set it and let it set for 2 weeks? Or do I have to be, number one, the water first, number second, the decorations, or when I'm setting it, I can put the salt water all together there to settle for 2 weeks.
It all depends on how you want to do it. Like usually what happens is people put the water in it and they let it sit for like running, so it's
Okay.
oxygenated for a week, 2 weeks, okay? And then you've got a choice. You can either start off with a fish, so if you waited 2 weeks, you can put a fish in. Okay?
Yeah, but I mean the salt water, not fresh water.
No,
It's
no, I'm
salt-
talking salt water.
Oh, okay.
Okay, if you wait 2 weeks and you have no decorations or anything in there, you can put one fish in. Okay? We would recommend that you put a bacteria culture in at the same time. If you want to start a little faster, what you do is you wait a week and then you put your live rock in. There's no fish in there now, there's live rock. Live rock has animals and organisms living through it. It's not actually live, it doesn't walk around or anything like that. It's got the organisms living in it. And they will actually start to culture the bacteria in your fish tank. You get a more stable fish tank if you start off with live rock than if you just put a fish in it, because there's no food source for the bacteria in the water until either the live rock goes in to produce ammonia or a fish goes in to produce ammonia.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I was talking with a client the other day, because she says, okay, what kind of fish do I need to put to start creating the bacteria?
A small
And
one.
then we were taking a look of the flame angels, we were taking the blue dancer, and I was telling her, okay, since you begin with, you might as well start with a cheap fish to put in the tank, because she says, what about if something goes wrong? And you know the flame angels is a lot more expensive than the yellow, the
Yellow tail blue damsel.
yellow